Okay, so guys, if you have anything to ask, you can unmute, and if you don't have any question, please mute your mic. All right. So yesterday we have covered about the GUI of this software AutoCAD, and we have this ribbon where we have all the tools as per our workspace. We have it. Okay, and here we have this quick access toolbar. This is your quick access toolbar. You can add some tools here. You can add some like if you want to add this layer, plot, render, these properties. If you don't want to show the workspace here, so you can uncheck it. So if it is unchecked, so that means you have to come on this option. This is the customization option for quick access toolbar, and there you need to check it, the workspace. And here also in the status bar, you can get this workspace switching tool. From here, you can change it to 3D modeling or 3D basics. Now, today I will show you that how you can, how you can create your own customized workspace. Okay. So for that, suppose if I don't have the ribbon, so for that I will go with dash ribbon close. Okay. So this is the command, and I don't have the ribbon anymore. So now what I'll do, I will type dash toolbar, okay, enter, and I will type the toolbar name. Suppose I need draw tool. So that was the first tool which I had used yesterday in the line tool. So that is the draw toolbar or draw panel. You remember I had mentioned. So draw. If I type draw, enter, and if you just want to show it, so just click on this show on your command panel. Okay, or if you want to add it to the right, so you can click on right. If you want to add it to the left, top, bottom, and accordingly you can click here. So if I be specific, so I can type L, enter, and how it is going to be placed. Okay, so if you want to align it with the horizontal, or if you want to align with vertical, accordingly you have to put the value. So here uh, you need to provide the binary binary input. So for 0, if you place 0, so that means it is hide. Okay, so means for horizontal you are going to uh, add hide option, or you can say uh, you are deactivating the horizontal option. And if you go for vertical and put 1, if you want to activate the vertical option, then you have to place 1. So 0 comma 1, enter. And here you can see to the left side we all have the draw toolbar, and similarly you can add more tools. Okay, so the same command, I have just press enter to activate the previous command, or you can use the space bar also to activate the previous command. So if you are activating the previous command, you don't have to type it again. So as you are using the software, so using the shortcut keys as much as possible will save you time. Dash toolbar, now you have to enter the toolbar, so you can go for modify toolbar, enter, and then where you want to place it, so you can go for right. So for that we have this R, and press enter, and how you want to place it. So now if I go for 1 first, that means I'm activating the horizontal, and then 0, that will be vertical, and Kindly, kindly unmute your mic. Sorry, mute your mic. Kindly mute your mic. Hello. Yeah. So that if you mute uh, in between the classes, so you will have a smooth recording. That's it. Okay. So if you have anything to ask, you can unmute your mic and you can ask. No problem for that. But don't unnecessarily unmute. So now we have this modify toolbar here, and so on. You can add all the toolbars. Okay, so this way, this is the command, and here you just name it, and it will bring all your toolbars, and it will be placed. And after that, you can go to this workspace switching tool, or from here also you can have that option. Okay, so from here you have to save current as and give it a name. Okay, and just save it. That's it. Okay, so similarly we have this for batch Mars, and I have created the AutoCAD Classic. So this one you will get it in the previous versions, right? The previous version workspace layout was like this, so which I have created by myself by adding all these tools. Okay, so you can add all these tools by just giving the name. So I have showed you the way you can do it. Right, now let me go to drafting and annotation, and you get back your ribbon. Okay, now in the previous class I have mentioned about UCS and WCS, how these system work, and AutoCAD only understand uh, the default values in terms of UCS, right? Uh, so you all remember that if you type normal x comma y comma z values or x comma y values, so it will count as UCS values, right? As per your UCS alignment, you will get the result. And if you have your UCS aligned with your WCS, so you will get the result as per the WCS because of your UCS alignment with WCS. That's the thing. Uh, at the default, we get UCS aligned with WCS. So we understand with this square at the origin of our UCS. So when this square is not available, that means UCS is not aligned with the WCS. Now, I will tell you more about the coordinate system. So we have two coordinate calculation options. So we have Cartesian coordinate and we have polar coordinate. So when we choose uh, Cartesian coordinate, when we need to calculate the position of any point, a location of any point in respect of x, y, and z axis, then we choose Cartesian coordinate system. So in the Cartesian coordinate also, we have two coordinates. One is absolute Cartesian and other is relative Cartesian. So absolute Cartesian, when we calculate the value from the origin, and when I'm talking about the origin in AutoCAD, that is UCS origin. Okay. So all the time it will calculate from the UCS origin, and you have relative Cartesian. So in the relative Cartesian, the value or the location will be calculated from its previous point. All right, that's the thing. And we have polar, and that is all about Cartesian. And in the polar also we have the same absolute and relative. So if you are calculating from the origin, that is your absolute, and if you are calculating from the previous, that is your relative. That is the simple funda. And when I talk about polar, so that means you are calculating the angle, or in the 360 direction. You are locating a position with the distance and uh, in 360 direction. So let me show you. If I go for this, we have the layer. I will talk about this later. Just know that we have a default layer, and that is named as 0. So in the default condition, whatever we draw, whatever we create, that will be created in this default layer. So currently, all the properties of any object which can be created, the properties are set with the layer. So as per the layer properties, it will be drawn. So that is why it is showing you by layer. So these are three properties: color, line width, and line type. These are the three properties. So I will give you more description later. So now just I'm changing the color. So here I will not change the line width. I'll change the line type. So here you can go for other, and you need to load because it is not listed here. So go for load and you can choose any of it. So I'm choosing this option and click on OK. So that is listed there, and now you can choose it. Okay, so these all are set, and now what will happen? These properties will be overwritten on the original layer properties. Okay, just remember this thing. Now let me create a circle, and here you can see. Okay. Now if I want to move the circle, just select the circle, and on this grip point, you click and you can drag and place wherever you want. Okay. And I will now come back to by layer option, and I will draw a line, just clicking on this point. So this is the quadrant point. The diameter endpoints are called quadrant points, and it is being highlighted because of object snap, that is your F3. Okay. Right. Now, why I have drawn this, I need to show you about the polar coordinate. So this is your east direction. Let me add text. East. Let me go with 20, enter, and now close. Yeah. East. So east is your initial direction. Okay. On this east direction, you have the value 0. So this is your east. And now towards the positive direction, this is so counterclockwise direction is your positive direction. So let me draw. And I will choose mirror option. Now I will just make some duplicates. So for that, I will go with the polar array. I will select this and let's close. Okay, so this is the positive direction. And let me add text. Okay, so this is a positive direction. And now let me go for the copy option. This is the base point and I will be placing here, here and here. And you can press escape. This is your north. Escape, enter. This is your west. This is your south. Escape, enter. Okay. So we also have negative direction, that is your clockwise direction. Okay. So let me copy this. And if I delete all this, so selecting this only, we have this blue window selection. So within this window, I cover only this object. So that is why this is precisely selected. But if I choose green window selection, so green window selection, what it will happen when you choose green window selection. So when you cross on any object with a green window selection, it generally selected. But for blue window, it need to be covered the object, and those objects which are covered by the window, those will be selected like this. Okay. And if you want to deselect, so hold shift and again you can deselect it. So let me delete, and now I'll go for mirror and I need to select again. I will select this, enter, and I will erase the source object. Yes. Now I will select this and I will go for array. This is the center and this is the negative value. This is the negative direction, or this is clockwise direction. Okay. So for polar coordinate system, we need to know these things. So let me show you first about the polar coordinate and absolute polar. We have relative polar. How it works? So if we are calculating from the origin, so that will be your absolute coordinate. So for absolute polar, you have to put the value in this manner, like the length of the line and the angle, how it will be placed. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'll enter, and you need to provide the first point. So the first point at the beginning, at the very beginning, when there is no point, so the first point will always be placed by absolute coordinate. You cannot place it by relative coordinate. Either using Cartesian or polar, you cannot use relative values, right? Because there is no previous point. So only the previous point is your origin. So you have to provide absolute Cartesian or absolute polar. So 0, comma 0 is my first point, and that is your UCS, right? And now about the next point. Okay, so how it will be placed. I'm doing, I don't need to show you the dynamic input. So I have pressed F12 to off the dynamic input. Now, if I need to place it on 45° from this point, so at the rate, sorry, no, at the rate, uh, because I'm going to show you with absolute polar. So you have to define the length first. The value will be taken as the length value. So let me go for 150, and then you need to press the less than symbol. Then the value will be taken as angle value. So 45 and enter. And as you can see, this line is created. Okay. Now here, what I'll do, I'll go for 200 and then less than, then 0 degree, 0 degree in the east direction, enter. Now you see that I have given the value 200 less than 0, but this line is created in this way. Can anybody explain why is so? Do you have any idea? Can you guess? Anybody, any guesses? East is this direction, right? But why this line created in this way? Can anybody explain? Any idea? Do you want to share anything? Any idea, guys? Okay, so let me explain. Why is it so?
Sir,
Yeah, hello.
sir, I have actually query.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, why you only put 150 and 200 less than?
Means
Like you have put it 150 less than 45, then you put 200 less than. So what does that mean by 150 and 200?
that is the length. That is the length of this line.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the length, we need to put that, and then after less than angle.
Yes, correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So as I have mentioned that the values which I have placed, that is absolute polar, right? And because of that, it will be calculated from the origin. So the value which I have placed, that is calculated from the origin. So from the origin, if I place this one, if I place it, let me place this here, here. So here you can see that this is the east direction, and from this is from this origin, 200 is at this point. At this point, you got 200 length, and in this east direction. So that is why this point is defined. But the previous point was on this point. So that is why from this previous point to this point, the line is connected. But the line coordinate value is calculated from this origin. Do you get it? Hello. Do you understand, everybody? Guys, please response. Anybody, if you don't understand, also
Sir,
raise your question. Yes.
yeah. Could you please explain again?
Yeah. Okay. So now you see, uh, now let me do one thing. Let me show you without this line. I will hide it. So for hiding it, I will go with isolate and hide object. Now I will go with a different color so that you can identify with red or let me go with this magenta color. Okay. I'll go with the line. The first point will be 0, 0, enter. Here it is started. So now this is the east, right? This is north. So if I tell you that the 90-degree, so that means this will be the 90-degree line. If I tell you the 180-degree from this point, so this is 180-degree, and this is 270-degree, and this is 0-degree, right? So from this point, if I locate the location 200 less than 0, so it will be in this direction, correct? So we are giving the point locations with these coordinate values. So that is your 200 or any value, not only 200, you can give any length 350 less than 0, and that is your angle value. 0 is your angle value, and enter. Now you see that this is the location, this point, this is the location 350 less than 0. Okay, so from this point to this point, the distance is 350. And how it is placed? It is placed in the 0 degree direction, that is your east direction from this point. Okay, now if I place any angle value, that will be like, suppose if I go for 200, or if I go for 500, then less than 90 degree, if I go for 90 degree, enter. Now you see that this is the 90 degree, correct? Now you can understand it easily, that the 90 degree that is calculated from this origin, right? From this origin, the length is 500. From this point to this point, length is 500, and the direction is 90 degree. And as because the previous point of the line was connected on this point, so that is why you see line is joined from this point to this point. That is the thing which I have given. The value is calculated from the origin. From this origin, we have located on this point, but the line is connected from this point. So that doesn't mean that the value is calculated from this point. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Anybody, do you have anything to ask?
So the dimension of the line is not 500, no? The inclined dimension.
Yes, the dimension. Okay, yeah. This line length, yes, this line length is not 500. Correct. That is correct. So DI
So
distance.
the angle
Yeah.
value always calculated
You
from the
see.
origin.
No, not always calculated. It depends on your
This
values. It depends on your
okay.
value. If you are putting the absolute coordinate, so this manner, the AutoCAD understand this is absolute polar coordinate. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
accordingly, it will work. Now, what happened? That is why I have showed you this. That if I need this line to be 500, right? So I don't need to provide absolute, which is being calculated from the origin. So for that, I need to calculate and to be connected from the previous point, right? So then only I can place it with the right length, with the correct length, right? So how we can place it? Okay, now I will show you. So kindly mute your mic. I will show you then. And for that, let me select it, and let me do one thing. Let me group it so that I can select it just within a click. Okay, and let me move it aside. Yeah. So now what I'll do, I'll change the color so that you can understand. Now you have to know how much angle it is. Okay, from this point. Okay, so that you have to know, or you must have the value. You must have that value. Otherwise, uh, you cannot place it on the right location. So I think this is 45, uh, right? So we can just check it because we need that value. We cannot just guess it. 55. So this is 55 degrees. So we need to know, correct? As we earlier knew this, this was 90 degree, right? So now here I have the first point on this coordinate. Now I will go with 500 and now less than 55. 55 will be calculated from this direction. This is the positive. So the default value will be calculated from the uh, sorry in the positive direction. That is your counterclockwise direction. Okay. So for the counterclockwise direction, this is not this is not 55, right? If I calculate from the east and east from the east up to this, it is not 55. Can you tell me how much it is? We know that this angle is 55. We know this angle is 55, correct? So from this east, how much will be the angle
One
value? Yeah,
125.
yes,
125.
correct, absolutely correct. So you know how you calculated, correct? So 180 degree minus 55,
55.
right? Let me place this now so that you can understand more better here. So this is the point. From this point, all the values will be calculated. So from this point, this is the east direction, this is the west direction, this is north, and this is south. Okay. So we need to place the line in this direction with the length 500. So place it on here and then at the rate 500 less than 125 and enter. Now you see this line is placed, right, with the perfect length, that is 500. So how I have done it, I have just placed at the rate in the prefix so that AutoCAD can understand that this is going to be calculated from the previous point. That's because this is the relative coordinate value. Okay, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Right. So as
Hello,
per
sir.
these coordinates, I will give you some
Sir,
tasks today. Yes, I'm coming to you. I will give you some tasks today in the Microsoft team, in the student task files, you will get it. So you all have to show or you all have to submit before the previous class. Okay, so I will give you after this class. Yeah, tell me.
only one query. Why
Yeah.
we all the time giving instruction like less than only?
Because the input it's created in this manner so that AutoCAD understand that after less than it will be calculated as a angle value. If you
Acha, if
place
uh,
comma, so then it will take as the next axis value. So the first it will be
I-
taken as x-axis. Then if you place comma, so the next axis that will be y, and then after
yeah,
comma, then it will take as the next axis value that will be z.
sir, if we put more than
No,
symbol.
it will not work.
Oh, okay, sir. If we want line at some specific angle, then we need to put less than and then put that value of that angle.
Yes.
Okay,
So
sir.
if
Then.
you are going with the command, so this way you have to type. And if you are going with a dynamic input, so there how we can work. I will show you that also. So let me go with a similar example so that you can understand. So this is your first point, and now I will activate the dynamic input. And here you can see, right? So here, if you go for 500 or any other like 600, let me go with 600. And here you can see that it's showing you less than 82 degree, or with the less than symbol, it's showing you the angle, right? Correct? So as it is
Yes, sir.
currently showing you, you can switch to that portion or to that section by just pressing tab. Okay. So if you have this dynamic input on, so here also you can press that less than symbol, or you can switch it to switch with tab option. So that is also possible. Okay. Now you can ask me, so that when I need to specify the axis values, then how we can? Then you can go with comma. Okay, after giving 500, then go with comma. Now you see, when I have placed comma, now it's not showing you the angle or degree, right? I hope you understand. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now if you are going with this, and if you have this dynamic input, suppose suddenly you make a mind that you need to change the 500 value. So then you can switch to with the tab option, and here you can come and you can change it to 600. Now I can press the less than symbol, and it will again take it as angle value. Now I can provide 125 and enter. Okay. All right. You understand?
Yes,
Now
sir.
let Okay, just give me a second. Please excuse me. Just a minute. Thank you, guys. All right. So now let's start. So you understand about the polar coordinate, right? Polar absolute and relative polar as well. Now I will show you about the Cartesian. So already you know about the absolute Cartesian, but again I will show you. So the first point here, I can provide the first point at any coordinate value. Let me go with 400, comma 250. Okay. So this is the point. This is my first point which I have placed 400, comma 250. So how AutoCAD understand that this is the 400, comma 250? So that value is calculated from the origin. So this is the input for absolute Cartesian, x comma y or comma z. So the value, the distance will be calculated from the origin. Okay. Now again, if I go for 150, comma 100, enter. Now you see that as because this dynamic input is on, so it has taken at the rate. You see, if I press F12, you can easily see it. it has taken 150 at the rate, but I haven't pressed at the rate. So let me show you again without the dynamic input. F12, L enter, and you can give any value anywhere location. As because I'm always showing you the UCS origin, so I'm taking any other point. So here you can go for 250, comma 480, enter. So this is the point 250, comma 480 that is calculated from the origin, and then you can give the value like 100, comma 200 and enter. And this is the location 100, comma 200, and which is calculated from the origin. Okay, but the line is joined from its previous point. Okay, so line always will be connected from its previous point, but the value which you are providing as per the coordinate, it will be calculated and it will be located. Okay, so this is the simple thing you have to understand. Don't mix it up that from the previous point the line is connected, so that means it is calculating from its previous point. So if you have the requirement to connect the line from the previous point, you want to calculate also from the previous point. So for that we have relative, right? For that we have relative Cartesian or relative polar. Now you can type at the rate. So at the rate, then your x value, if you are going with relative Cartesian, so at the rate x value, I will go with 500. And then if I want to place uh, in the horizontal direction or along with x, so my y will be 0. You all know that. So 500, comma 0, enter. And now at the rate 0, comma 500, 0, comma 500. So from this point, I'm providing that x value will be 0 and y value will be 500. So in the y axis only that can be happened, right? There will be no value for x. So after this enter, it will be like this. Okay. So similarly, we can go for it at the rate. Now I will go for minus 500 in the x minus direction. From this point towards this direction is minus x, at the rate minus 500, and there will be y0, enter. Okay, you understand? Okay, now here I can either put the value from this point, or what I can do, I can click on close. So what will happen from this point to the first point, when I started my line, when I started my creating this entire line with the single command, within the single command. So if I click on close, so it will close here. Okay, so if I have had started from this point, so it would have closed on this point. Okay, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is all about your coordinate. So now let me share you one thing, that we won't use this coordinate all the time, because we can do our work in this manner. Like if I want to have a straight line, I have ortho mode on with the F8, and in this direction I can just place my mouse and I can just put the value how much length I need, like 1000, and enter. Okay, so all the time we will be using this way. But why we need to know this coordinate values? Because sometimes we need some help to be precise, to be more precise, accurately. We need to place it angles. We need to do some work. So sometimes the coordinates will help, and we have this process to do all the time. Okay. So that is why we need to know the coordinate values, because some drawings you will face there you need to give the coordinate values that will help you to create that accurately. Okay, so I will give you some drawings where you can uh, have that. Okay, so this is all for today. I will not give you that much because you need to practice it as well, and you need to understand these coordinate values properly. So that's the thing. Okay, so you can just go with this simple line and all. Okay, so this is all for today.